All right, legends. Hope you're all having a beautiful day. I started without the intro today because there's a specific level that I am watching for a potential short. Let me see if the feed's coming through. Yes, you guys can hear me. You can see me. Right, legends. As you can see, I know I'm zoomed in here on the 5-minute time frame, but we are approaching an area of interest where I'm going to take final profits on my long that I entered over here. Right, I did close my week's position yesterday on the live stream, and my buy bid position is still running, and this is where I'm planning to take profits. But I am considering even closing the position over here, right? I'm happy with the profits here to the upside, but this is now the zone where I am watching a short, a potential short on the cards here by the 50% Fibonacci. Let me just show everyone. When you take a fib from the high to the low, you have the 50% Fibonacci, and when I measure this wave here to the upside, you have the 1.618. Ooh, legends. Right, I know I dived right into the technical analysis, but this is the zone. I don't want it to front run a potential trade on the cards over here. Legends, we have tapped. I did see that we did tap the 1.618. So there's a chance, okay, I have seen this before, there's a chance that it starts falling down because it has tapped the level already. What I prefer to see is smash through, then get the rejection. Put your stop loss, enter. Right? That is the preferred way. I would like to see it tap the 50% and the 1.618, get the choppiness on top, right? Get the rejection, and we fall to the downside, right? But if there's a front running going to happen over here, we did tap the 1.618. And the reason I like this fib pool over here, legends, is that this could be an, wait, let me just grab my pen. This could be an A, B, C, a three-wave structure here to the upside, a very complex three-wave structure. If this scenario gets invalidated and price just continues to pump here to the upside, I really like the 0.618. And guess what? We do have, where is my point of controls? We do have a point of control together with the 0.618. This looks like the best technical short to the downside. Okay, but we are tapping a trend-based fib extension, which is very important. We all know that 1.618 level. Okay, very important. Right, legends, I've just dived right here into the technical analysis. Welcome to the live stream. Yeah, on a Tuesday morning in South Africa. Yes, my voice is starting to go away. In case you were wondering why my voice is sounding so strange, I don't know. I don't feel sick or anything like that. It's just my voice is starting to go away. And remember to smash up that like button. If you're not already a subscriber, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Okay, this is where we do pure technical analysis from a simplicity perspective, legends. From a simplicity perspective. Okay, I was tracking this trend to the downside. Okay, look how beautiful we eventually broke out. Okay, we tapped the trend to perfection for a retest, and we continued momentum to the upside. So we have local bullishness to the upside. And as per the thumbnail, can this be the low? Is there a chance for this to be the low and for price to break out and go to $95,000? Legends, it just has to be said, and the structure is still very young, okay? But when I zoom into this little structure, this monstrosity from this little pivot over here to where price is at the moment, it's not a beautiful impulsive structure, okay? It is ugly as it gets, okay? It's a very ugly structure. If you want to count impulses from this point to where price is now, speculating on more upwards momentum, it's a very ugly impulsive structure. It looks very, very corrective. You have such a mess here, overlaps, waves overlapping each other. There's no 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, clear 5. There's no diagonal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC, and then it pops out. There's not a clear, clean impulsive structure from this little low over here. It's a very ugly structure here to the upside, which tells me that there's a higher probability that this structure that's forming here to the upside is going to reject at some point and potentially, okay, come back to this naked point of control and even take the lows. Right, so the question is it going to reject over here and fall down? Or is it just going to find support at the trend and then bounce again to the next level? And then at one of these levels, I want to see the rejection back to the downside because this looks awfully corrective here to the upside. Okay, but regardless of what wave it is from an Elliott wave perspective, and this is what I told the Legends Pro community this morning as well. Legends, I don't care what Elliott wave scenario is forming over here because I have my levels. I use my trend-based FIBs. I use my FIB retracements. I have my daily levels. I have my point of controls. I have my weekly levels, right? I have all my areas of confluence marked out. Right, and I know it looks a little bit messy, but the level that I am paying attention to the most here at the moment is, let me clean up the chart, right? Let me take some of these things out the way. Clean up the dailies, clean up the weeklies, clean up the point of controls, okay? This is the most important level that I'm watching now from a price action perspective, okay? I really like this pivot. And I can imagine that there is liquidity above this pivot. So it would be nice for price to pierce the 1.618 and get acceptance back below this pivot over here, right? And that will be your final sign of weakness. I mean, I can get a better entry over there, but right, if price pierces this level, claims the liquidity above, and then finds momentum to the downside, this is where I will be shorting. Okay, definitely a shorting zone for me. Who is this Shana Quintella person saying that it's my birthday today? I don't know what this person is smoking their socks. Right, legends, let me say hi to the beautiful community. Okay, I think that price still has a chance to pierce this level properly. Okay, I do think that price still has a chance. The reason I like this FIB pool, okay, with all the levels is because you can see that it has been respected. Okay, when we tapped the 1-to-1 extension over here, we got the rejection to the downside. When we tapped the 1.236, we got the rejection to the downside. Okay, even a better level. Look at how we tapped the 1.382 to perfection. Okay, and we got massive momentum here to the downside. This is why I like the 1.618. Okay, right, legends, happy birthday. Let me say hi to the beautiful community. Shana, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Right, yes, it's April Fool's. Okay, is it really my birthday? Or is this just an April Fool's joke? Right. Frank, welcome to the live stream. Anthony, when is your birthday, Diwali? Right. Good morning, sir. A catalyst watching from the Philippines, all the way from the Philippines. Yes, it's always amazing to see all the people that watch the live stream from all over the world: Los Angeles, UK, Philippines, Nigeria, Botswana. I get messages from all over the world. Happy birthday. Thank you so much. Is it true? Well, no one will know. No one will know. April Bullish Dewald out rocking yesterday. No, this voice that is going away, I can guarantee you, is not from partying or staying up late. It's just, I don't know what's happening with my voice at the moment. Good morning, everyone. Talma, welcome to the live stream. All hail to the legend himself. Right. Hello, nice bounce from the 0.618 fib. Actually, I didn't even see that level, okay? But the reason I have this trend, okay? So quite interesting what you're highlighting. Oh, yeah, Verizon. I'm not going to trip over myself trying to pronounce that. If you take a fib from the low to the high, ooh, yeah, look at that. Look at that. Beautiful bounce, okay? You can see If you don't know anything about Elliott wave theory, it does not matter. You trade your fibs, right? Look at this beautiful bounce on the 0.618. And if you don't even know how to pull a fib properly, okay, there was another way to get into this trade. I was unfortunately sleeping, but I can tell you guys now, I would have played this trade like a crazy person, right? What a beautiful, okay, you missed the breakout, you missed the retest. Look at that beautiful retest. Absolute stunning. This is where I cashed out my week's trade yesterday. You all remember? This is where I cashed out my week's trade. Yes, could I have made more money to the upside? By all means. Did I make money? That's what's most important. Yes, I made money yesterday with a week's trade, right? But if I was awake during this, I would have entered with my stop below the low, and I would have taken profits by the highs and maybe leave some of the position open for higher levels, which is what we're currently getting. But when I see an important level like this, this is where I will typically, if I took a trade over here, this is where I will just close the trade, right? This is nice profits here to the upside. Very significant profits if you know how to trade with good risk management and applying the leverage that you're supposed to be applying. Okay. Because I can tell you guys from a maximum perspective, okay, I always like to dive into a little bit of education. Let me just take the comment here out the way so it doesn't bug anyone. Frank, hi, welcome to the live stream. SGS, when is your birthday and what is your mother's maiden name? Thank you for your stream. An absolute pleasure. Okay. No one will ever know when my birthday is. People speculate, so keep on speculating, right? It's April Fool's. Maybe it's a joke, right? You never know. Okay. Cool, legends. What I was about to say over here. Let's quickly go back. If you played, and I'm not sure if anyone played this breakout, let's say you were a little bit late, you entered over there, okay? You had your stop below the recent low, and you are targeting the highs right over there. So this is a beautiful 3.41 risk to reward trade, okay? Your stop loss is 0.41% away, which means that you can take 1% of your capital, you can apply 200x leverage. Okay? And if you get stopped out, you will still only lose 1% of your capital, but most importantly, you will get stopped out before you get liquidated. That's what's most important. Another way to look at this trade is that you could have played with 100% of your capital at 2x leverage. It's exactly the same. That is why leverage does not matter. When you see people applying massive amounts of leverage, okay, in their P&L screenshots, it should not scare you. You should not think that the person is an absolute degen, or a risk taker, because it really depends on how much capital they deployed where they applied the 200x leverage to. And when people see someone took a trade with 2x, they're like, you see, anyone can do that. No, it's about the position size. Because if I'm playing with 100% of my portfolio at 2x leverage, or if I'm playing with 1% of my portfolio at 200x leverage, it is exactly the same position size. I'm losing the same amount of capital if my stop loss gets hit. Okay. And that is the power of leverage, and that is the power of trading. It's about knowing how much capital you need to deploy inside of the trade. Right, cool, legends. So, I mean, anyone took that long year to the upside, okay, it's definitely a profit-taking zone, but it can still get a little bit of more momentum here to the upside, right? Here was a very, very tricky breakout, but I played the breakout nonetheless. Okay, I had my stop below the low when I entered over here. There was a three-wave corrective structure that tapped the 1.236. This is why I entered. I knew, looking at the low over here, that there was a high chance that we could potentially come and claim these highs and potentially even this pivot over here. There was a naked point of control, if everyone remembers yesterday's live stream. When we tapped the naked point of control, we got a massive Nice little short. Okay, I told everyone yesterday in the live stream, if you were paying attention, guys, this is where you short. This is where you put your stop loss above the high. When you hit support, you take profits. And we did. We hit support and we got the bounce back to the upside. Right? So it played out to perfection. The long played out, the short played out, and this was nothing to do with Elliott wave theory. Okay. Right, legends. Now, this was a very clean breakout. This is a beautiful breakout. Very clean, very nice, nice taps, clean breakout. You put your stop below the low, you target the highs. Beautiful trade here to the upside. Okay. Now the question is, okay, the momentum more locally is up. Okay, the trend is up. And as long as we can hold this momentum trend, okay, maybe we get a rejection, it bounces at support on the trend and it goes back up again. So I'm looking to take advantage of this little move, but I will definitely be leaving some of the position open for lower levels because I do know from an Elliott wave perspective, there's a chance that we could reject, and fall down and claim the lows again. Okay, so in these short attempts that I'm taking at the moment, I am leaving some of the position open for lower levels, but I'm still paying myself when I hit support. Okay. Right, legends. Also yesterday, this little support box that I highlighted yesterday, okay. Oh, look at the beautiful RS flip that we did over here. Okay, beautiful, beautiful RS flip. This little box that I had yesterday, we got the rejection. I mean, this retracement went deep, scary as hell, but you retraced perfectly on the trend. You did not get acceptance back inside of the trend. Then we broke out and look at that, RS flip to perfection. So this boxy is actually now a very important box. It's now critical support. So one of these rejections over here could mean that price, okay, because this is the best area of support at the moment, is that maybe you get a rejection in the zone that comes all the way back and then it bounces back up. Nice little short opportunity over here. Okay, because now this is proven resistance and support at the moment. Also, what is interesting about this box, and this is where I'm particularly now looking for longs again. Okay, what is very interesting about this box is if I switch on my daily levels and my point of controls, we have a fresh daily level slightly above. And we have a naked point of control. So this box, okay, has now all of the sardines has now become a very important support box. So if we do get a flash crash here to the downside, pay attention, because I can imagine you lose the trend. Everyone's going to short like crazy maniacs. Maybe you do this, you bounce, you make a lower high, you fall down, you put your stop above the high, you short this little bad boy over here, you hit support, you're supposed to take profits. Okay. But this is why I'm trying to catch the short over here, because I want to benefit from the entire movement and not just from the little bit of the movement over here. Right, legends, remember to smash up that like button if you'd like to come and trade with me. I am trading here at the moment on weeks, okay. Let me see. I have, okay, no financial advice, but I have entered a small, not a lot, like 0.05% of my capital when I saw we tapped the level. Okay, my entry is there and my stop is here by the high. If I get stopped out, which is the high probable chance that I'm going to get stopped out, because I know and I have seen in the past that a level gets tapped like this. I mean, can you see, right? This level got tapped to the dollar. And I have seen that once you tap the level, it can reject. What I would prefer to see is for price to actually pierce the level properly and then reject. That to me is a way better short. That's a better confirmation. Okay, I have attempted a small little position over here in case it tapped the level and it falls. Okay, like what happened here. Look at this. Okay, but that was a better pierce. Okay, you could have shorted this 1.382 level. Look at that, right? Stop above the high. Look at this beautiful momentum to the downside until you hit support. Okay, you can short an uptrend if you're very selective about your shorts and you practice exceptionally good risk management. A trader or anyone that tells you you cannot short upwards momentum, okay, everything moves in waves. Okay, it's always better to look for longs, but we also have to consider that the momentum is to the downside. The bigger trend that's formed over here is to the downside. This could be a retracement, and then you continue momentum to the downside in a three-wave structure. Okay, for now, one thing I do want to highlight is that for price to take the low before we take the high still carries higher probability from an Elliott wave perspective. This structure over here is a terrible impulsive structure. It's terrible, terrible, terrible. If anyone can go into our Discord community, the free section, and post me an impulse that they can count inside of here, please entertain me, because I'm struggling to count the impulse in here. All right. I mean, yeah, you can count an A, B, C. You can count a 1, 2, 3. You can count, basically an ABC and a 1, 2, 3, or an ABC that ended over here in a W. This is now actually the scenario that I'm leaning a little bit towards. Okay. What if? I want to see something over here. So legends, one thing I want to highlight, when you take a fib from the high, this high over here, okay, this little pivot where the shit started, basically, where we got the downwards momentum, to the low. Now the question is, which low? Okay, I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm going to the low. Let's keep it simple over here. Okay, let me clean up the chart a little bit because it looks very, very messy. Okay, let me do this. Right, that looks better. Okay, let me switch off this as well. Okay, if this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, this is where it has to reject. If this is a 1, 2, 3, and this is now a 4, it has to reject over here. It doesn't have a choice to still complete a fifth wave to the downside. Okay, then there's another way to count it. What if this is an A, B, C that ended over here, which is now ABC, three-wave structure? It's a W because you have an ABC inside of a W. Now, all of this that's formed over here is an X wave. And the X wave, now this is where I think that maybe the X wave probability is starting to carry higher probability, because this is a very confusing corrective structure. And I've seen even some professional Elliott wave counters, Elliotticians, are struggling to make sense of this little structure over here. And X waves, okay, loves complex corrective structures where you can even have a WXY inside of the X wave. Okay, so regardless of how you want to count it, is you're still looking at whether this is an A, B, C and a W, and this is forming an X wave that can even go up to the 618. Ideally, I don't want to see it tap the 786. So this is the zone for your X wave to reject. Okay, then you can go and make a Y to the downside. And then I will take my trend-based fib after we get the rejection. I can tell you guys now, whether this is because some people are counting this as an ABC, WXY, I don't care, right? The only difference is between the ABC and the WXY versus the 1, 2, 3, 4, it has to reject here for a fifth wave. That's the difference. But you guys can see with all the scenarios that I'm watching, ABC, WXY, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm looking for rejection to still go and claim the low. That is where Elliott wave theory gives me directional bias. So that when I'm looking for shorts over here, I will still pay myself when I hit support. Okay, but I will leave a little bit larger position open to come and claim the lows, because I know that this could be a larger three-wave corrective structure that takes the lows, and then we will assess the probabilities once we get here. Okay, at the moment I can just speculate. Okay, Once the rejection is in and we do start falling to the downside, I can then take a trend-based fib from the high to the low to the high, and I can go and measure out, okay, let's say we reject here by the 0.618. And let's say this is a WXY. 0.618 is a very common Y wave target. Okay, but it will be more likely an X wave if we do tap the 0.618. If we reject by the 50% Fibonacci, then I'm going to say, well, it's still a good zone because we still have untapped levels to the downside, right? You still have a weekly level. We still have a daily level that has not been tapped. We got front runned over here, did not tap the levels. So regardless of what damn corrective structure this is, okay, this is the zone where I'm looking for a long. And if price does not hold this zone, the only other area to the downside that looks interesting to me is this daily level at $78,567. Okay, and remember, no reaction, no trade. Okay, right, so it does look like price is ever so slightly going a little bit higher, which is what I prefer to see. So legends, if I take a trend-based fib, and I know there will be some people that's going to ask, Dewald, how did you pull the trend-based fib here? I take it from this low to the high to the low, okay? And you can see that we are now here by the 1.618 level. And a little bit further up, we have the 50% Fibonacci. I really like that pivot. So this is the zone where I'm now looking for a short. I want to see price do this. So I know where to put my stop loss. And if price is trading below this area, then I know that shows weakness. Okay. Right, then a little bit further up, if price does not show weakness, it continues, okay, price is trading above my area of interest, which means I'm not interested in a short, and it continues here to the upside, then you have the naked point of control, 0.618, absolute stunning, also the 2 extension over here, right, where I'm going to be looking for a short, but it does look like price wants to find weakness over here first, okay. So that is basically what I'm looking for right now. Okay. So from a shorting perspective, legends, to keep it simple, look at price action. That looks very interesting. That looks very interesting. You have a naked point of control. These are the 2 zones that we can reject. And this is where I'm looking for a short. Price can get punchy here to the upside. Okay, this is the what if scenario. We do have a weekly level at the 2.618 and the 786. So there's lots of confluence at each fib level. The question is, which one is going to give us the rejection to come and claim the low? That is now the question. But I will be paying attention to all 3 of these levels, depending on how bullish price gets here to the upside. Okay, this one is actually quite interesting because this is the trend, right? That's the major trend on the 4-hour time frame that everyone is watching that we did not break out from. Okay, maybe you come back to the scene of the crime, you reject and you fall down. We could go as high as the 786. There's a chance, okay? Right, from a longing perspective, it's very simple for me as well, legends. I mean, we have proven support here to the downside. If I switch on my levels, let's clean up, take out all the fib extensions, clean up the kitchen, okay? If price rejects, yeah, wherever it rejects, let's say it rejects in this zone and it falls down, okay, it's either going to hold to trend, and because there's now support, yeah, okay, there's support, I can see it, very clear, support over here. It's either going to reject, bounce on the trend and continue, so I will still be able to take a little bit of profits there and I get stopped out at break even and I can attempt the next short. If it breaks trend, then this is where I take profits. Okay, but this is a very interesting zone for potential bounce. You have a fresh daily level, a fresh naked point of control. Okay, I do think if price rejects over here, okay, from a technical perspective, and it loses the trend, I do think that this bounce is definitely a profit-taking area, but there's a high chance that you are going to make a lower high and continue. So I'm looking for a scalp over here if this moves plays out, because you could be rolling over. Okay. And then you also have that, guess what? You have a head and shoulders. You lose the neckline, you break down. Okay. And then you have your measured move, right? You can see how the patterns fits into these scenarios as well, depending on how they play out. Okay. Remember, legends, the exchanges that I use is always down in the description. Gosh, I should have gotten this ready before the live stream. I do apologize. Right, down in the description of this video, the exchanges that I use is always here in the links. First up is Weeks, where you get 50% cash back on the money that you deposit in your features account. That competition is running at the moment, and this is why I'm trading aggressively here on Weeks. You also get 25% discount on your trading fees, right? We've got Bluffin. All you need is an email and a password, and Femix as well. With Bluffin, every time you move $10,000 worth in volume, you get to spin the wheel, okay, to win some Doge, AirPods, laptop, MacBook Pro, not a MacBook Air, okay, and some Doge. I'm very bullish on Doge in the short to medium term. Okay, right. So I organize you guys the best deals, and all I ask in return is that you trade with these links, because it costs you nothing extra. In fact, you only benefit by trading with these links instead of Googling it by yourself and not get these bonuses and 25. Okay, it's 0% maker fee and 25% discount on your taker fee. Okay, legends, these are basically in a nutshell what I am looking at. Let me go through some comments. Okay, I think a tiny little too soon to start short. Give it another few $100 of upside first. Yes, I do like this, Rudy. I really like this pivot. Okay, I would like it, but you can see the reason I have a red box over here, very interesting. Okay, if you switch on your VRVP, just to see where was the most amount of volume traded. Okay, let's see over here. Okay, volume could have changed ever so slightly because of the new price action that's now developed. But you can see that we are now punching through a high volume node over here. Okay, yesterday it was a little bit higher, but now because of this volume over here, it's actually increased over here. But anyways, we also have another one. This box should actually move here. Look at this high volume node, and that is in confluence with a 0.618. And then a little bit up, okay, we have that weekly level. So these are actually the two highest volume node areas inside of this range. Okay, so the best shorting opportunity from a simplicity perspective is, okay, let me switch off everything. Let me do this. Let me clean up the kitchen. Purely from a Fibonacci perspective, okay, now that I've done all the confluences I possibly can, the 50% looks like the best zone for a short. I want price to pierce the level, claim the liquidity above, and fall down. That is a beautiful short for me. Okay, maybe it plays out, you get the rejection, maybe it bounces on the trend and it goes back up. Okay, shorting zone. Those pivots are sexy. Golden pocket, 0.66, 0.618. Golden pocket, high volume node. Okay. And then obviously, this is the maximum rejection zone. Okay. The 786. Because if you're going to tap the 0.88, you're going to break the trend and you're going to increase the probabilities of taking this high. Right. So it's never easy in trading, but it's about watching the price reaction at each level. And at one of these levels, I'm going to catch that short. At one of these levels, I can tell you guys now, I'm going to catch the short here to the downside. It's either going to be here or here. I don't know if it's going to get to the 786, but if it does, I'll catch it over here. A reject from the trend once again. Oh, we're going to break out. We're going to break out. And it just rolls down. Okay. Right. Cool. Legends. You know, this is now the conundrum. Is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Okay. Look at the bias. The bias is this. Okay. For a 5, this has to be the rejection. That's the only difference. if this is a 1, 2, 3, and this is an A, B, C flat, this has to be the rejection at the 50%, because if you tap the 0.618, you invalidate the fifth wave. But then another scenario takes action. What if this is a W, X, Y? Look at the bias. I'm still expecting up and I'm still expecting down. But I'm still expecting the lows to be claimed. Okay. Or this is a simple A, B, C. But do you guys see, now that I have all my Elliott wave scenarios mapped out, I'm expecting a rejection. And I'm still expecting the low to be claimed. So now it tells me I need to start looking for shorts, and it also tells me, okay, it could get nice and epic here to the downside to even come and claim the lows. There is another scenario, okay, as per the thumbnail, can things get really bullish here to the upside? Because I do see some people are talking about the scenario. Let me take them all out here. Okay, Dewald. Okay, let's go here onto the 1 hour time frame. Because this is now all over social media at the moment. Okay, maybe myself and Andy started something over here, right? You have formed a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the upside. This is the correction that ended. It corrected the impulse. It bounced, front run some levels, but it bounced. And now we are on our way up here to $95,000 potentially. Okay. There's a couple of issues with this scenario, okay, and I will just keep it very simple. If you take a time fib, okay, from the low to the high, this low, at least this low was made after the 0.382. Beautiful. Makes sense. Okay. So that low concerned me because it was made before the 0.382. So the thing that concerns me about the structure is that if I'm counting this, because now you have to count the structure as an A, B, C. You have to. If this is done, it has to be an ABC. There's no other way to count the structure, and it's going to rampage here to the upside. There's two problems. Okay, so the scenario can still play out, but I would say it has about a 20%, 15% chance of playing out. But there's still a chance, okay, is that if I'm counting this as an A, B, C, counting 5 waves, because your C wave has to have 5 waves inside of it. This low does not make any sense, because if I go into the smaller time frame, and I'm not going to do it now, it's going to take too long, but if I go onto the 5-minute, 3-minute time frame, you can count beautifully a 5-wave structure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a C wave. This low does not make any sense. So for a C wave to end over here confuses the whole structure, because now you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You now have a 7-wave structure. It's just not pretty. Okay. And then the other problem, remember what I always preach here on the channel. When you make a low, you have to be able to see 3 structures to guarantee almost that you're going to go to higher levels. Okay. I always speak about it. When you have a low, and you want confirmation that price is going to continue to the upside and go and claim the high at $89,000, $90,000, you want to see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave structure. 4 is not allowed to go into the territory of 1. It has a maximum retracement target of the 0.5. Third wave is not allowed to be the shortest wave. It's a beautiful impulse. They are easy to count, and they balance from a Fibonacci perspective. When you take a trend-based fib from the low to the high, the third wave is usually at the 1.618, and the fifth wave is at the 2 extension. They are very easy structures. It's not this. This is not this. Okay? Then the other two, the only other 2 structures is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a triangle. Okay, so let's look. Okay, 1, 2, 3. That looks like a three-wave structure. It's it's not pretty, legends. It's really not pretty, unless the price action is still too young and I can't see it. Okay, because I'm really trying to say that, well, what if this becomes a contracting structure over here? Okay, where you have formed 1, 2, 3. Okay, we need more price action. 4, 5. If I see this, then maybe, because now you're forming that triangle. And then this little retracement is going to become very interesting. So we will only be able to know if we are forming this structure here once it plays out, basically. Once you have your fourth wave, your fifth wave, you get the rejection to the downside. I'm going to say, ladies and gentlemen, we have a chance for bullish continuation here to the upside. But at the moment, based on where this low ended and the three wave structures to the upside, it doesn't carry high probabilities. Okay. Can it continue to the upside? Of course it can, right? The structure is then still a little bit too fresh, but you guys can see how very, if you know, you're on the 5-minute time frame. Look at this. Okay, you now have to count 5 waves up here in your wave 1. What is this? This looks like a 3-wave structure. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so maybe it's forming 3 waves to the upside, okay? Like it's done with this bigger structure that we've just seen. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. This is where you long. Okay, but there's still a lot that needs to happen here before I will consider a long over here. Right, it just, at the moment, based on price action, at the moment, it still looks corrective. But it can change probabilities based on how the structure plays out. Okay, cool. Feels like, I mean, Dewald, I know you don't rate EMAs much, but look at where the 200 is on the 1 hour time frame. Guys, I haven't used the EMAs in such a long time now. I don't even know how to use them anymore. Let's see. Indicators. Do I have an EMA? I don't even have moving averages here. Relative strength, moon phases, visible. Okay. What do I call it? 200 moving average. Is it just this one? Okay, can we just use this one? Let's see. Right. Then you need to go and change settings. Guys, I'm going to have to go and figure this out. I haven't used moving averages in so long. I don't want to try and figure it out here in the live stream and frustrate the rest of the people that actually do know how they work. I will go and figure it out. I used to have them all over my chart. The settings were correct. I deleted them because I don't use them at the moment. But I mean, if this is the 200-day moving average, okay, I know you can go and change some settings to make sure that you have either the daily one or the weekly one or the whichever one. Okay, I don't even know how to change the settings, but there's your 200-day moving average. It does align here with the 786, so it could potentially be, right, you get the rejection at the 786 and you fall down. Yeah, at your 200-day moving average. Right, cool, legends. Those are basically the levels and the scenarios that I wanted to highlight over here. Remember to smash up that like button. Okay, 85. Yes. Okay. If you're not already a subscriber, make sure that you subscribe for future notifications. The links for the exchanges that I use is always down in the description, where you qualify for the biggest sign-up bonuses, trading competitions, and lowest trading fees. Legends, until the next one, cheers for now.